Camera's good. Yep. Like first question.
Susie, was it an easy decision to bat first? Because we saw with England yesterday that there seems to be more of a scoreboard pressure factor in the women's games.
Yeah, look, in hindsight, that type of wicket, maybe it would have been better to chase, but to set a total. But I think, if we'd kept them to 130, we would have chased down that score. I just think there are a couple of overs where Cooper took it to us and we didn't bowl as well as we could have. So yeah, in hindsight, but I was still confident bowling first with the lineup that we had in our batting order. We could get across the line. We just lost wickets up the top that put pressure on our lower order, and all tournament our top order's done the job. So if one of our top 5 had batted through to the 20th, I still would have backed us to get that score.
Susie, what do you think was the turning point of the game? Losing your top order for less than 50, or the over the Taylor bowled, where she got both Satterwhite and Sarah McLachlan?
Sophie Devine's run out was pretty crucial. Dotton fielded exceptionally well and threw down the stumps, and Sophie, the way she was going, could have taken the game away from the West Indies. So I think there are a few turning points. The way Cooper batted and to get a strike rate that high in an innings and bat pretty deep really made 140 a good total for them. So I can't really put my finger on any turning point in particular. There were just phases of the game where I thought the West Indies outplayed us with bat and ball.
Susie, I hate to ask you this question, but who do you think will win in the final, West Indies or Australia? What do you think about the final and the lineup?
Well, we would have loved to have been there, but that's cricket, and if the West Indies turn up like they did today and their top order fire and they field like they did, they're going to be a good shot. So the West Indies are a really dangerous 2020 cricket side. You can never look past Australia in finals cricket, and they're sort of peaking at the right time. So sort of sitting on the fence, but I think it'll be a pretty good game.
How much more heartbreaking is it when you have such a good league campaign and then first knockout match to lose that, as compared to say like have an up and down thing and then?
Yeah, it probably hasn't really sunk in just yet. The girls will be pretty disappointed in the changing room, but the thing with today, I thought we've played some good cricket leading right up to this tournament, and that's the nature of 2020 cricket. I don't think we played poorly today. I just think the West Indies really came out, had good plans, and with putting Cooper up the order, we haven't perhaps scouted for her as much because she hadn't batted that much throughout the tournament, and that came off for them. So we're going to be disappointed, but I'm really proud of just how we've played cricket throughout this whole tournament, and today wasn't a bad day at the office. They were just better than us, so we'll move on and wait for the next one.
Yeah, bowling first, it seemed watching that for Cooper and for Stephanie Taylor that they were finding it harder to hit, when the ball wasn't coming onto the bat, when your spinners were bowling. Did you feel you could have bowled them a little more through the 20 overs?
Yeah, it was tough to sort of find the right balance. We've got a really good spinning attack, and they did take to Lee Kasparek, and that was probably a plan because she's been so successful for us. So yeah, it was a balancing act because they were sort of getting after our leg spinner and off spinner. So I thought Sophie Devine bowled outstanding and took the pace off it, even though she's one of our paces. But yeah, I think we'll look back and perhaps look at how we could have done things differently. But yeah, right now it's just sort of sinking in that we perhaps didn't play our best game today.
I was actually going to ask you about the spin. Before this game, Kasparek and Birmingham together, less than 4 and over, I think 4.2 or something. Today, 6 overs, 54. Do you think they came out with a conscious plan to kind of hit them out of the attack as they could?
Yeah, it's probably worked against us with how consistent we've been with our lineup, because we've been able to pick the same team and stick to our plans, and they could probably look at that and realise Birmingham and Kasparek were there to target, and they took that risk, and it worked for them. So yeah, we've had a very similar team. We've been really consistent with our plans, so perhaps it gave them the chance to look at that and look where to attack us. And on a different day we might have got wickets early and we could have had them out for under 130 and chase it down.
Okay.
Stephanie, congratulations on the win first, fourth time lucky. The two spinners, Kasparek and Birmingham, had huge success before this game. Was that a big part of your game plan to sort of go after them as soon as they came on? Because they went for 54 and 6 overs together.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't really our game plan. I think maybe it was Brittany's game plan. We actually had a look at the footage and see, how they were actually bowling. And I mean, it was no time to, to play their game. It's time to play our game. And I think that the way we played them, it was fantastic. We knew we had to put up a big total to, to actually, push New Zealand back. And I think 143 was pretty decent.
Your fielding also made a difference, especially that run out that she pulled off.
Yeah, we always, anytime Dottin gets a run out, it's something, spectacular. She's so vibrant in the field. And, whenever she gets a run out, it's, it brings the whole flame back. And I think that was, the run out actually changed the game and, had us, back in it, really.
Stephanie, it's been a jinx getting to the semi-finals all the time and not getting to the final. Now you're actually in a final. How do you favour playing against the Australians?
Well, we play the Australians all the time, most of the time in semi-finals, and now we're playing them in the finals. I think that they're a good team. They're a really, good and tough team. But I think that if we're consistent, play like how we play today, I think we definitely fancy our chance, and bowl well against them. We definitely fancy our chance, lifting that cup.
Steffi, did you speak to the captain of the men's team today before the match, and will you be waiting to watch their match today?
Oh yeah, I had a from last night actually. The guy's been texting me saying, all the best, and you have to bat long. And, this morning, Darren Sammy, he messaged me to say, all the best today, and, he will be watching. So I think, to know that they're behind us, that was actually good to get that support. And yeah, we'll be here watching them.
Stephanie, while you were batting, a certain gentleman made a comment on Cricinfo that he can't watch women cricket because women can't hit the ball long and far enough. And immediately after that, of course, Cooper smashed 2 sixes. So would you like to respond to that?
Well, I think that those two sixes would actually shut him up. So, I guess that speaks for itself.
Generally, you're so dependent on Anissa's bowling here. She had a bad first over, so you came in and you took those 2 crucial wickets in that same over. Just that period of play, if you could describe.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
No, Anissa, you're so dependent on Anissa's bowling generally. She had a bad first over today, and then you came in and you got both those 2 out of consecutive deliveries. If you can just describe that play, it looked like that changed everything around.
Yeah, Anissa didn't have the over we were expecting, and we knew that she's one of those bowlers who, or my main bowler really, to give me 4, and she didn't start it off the way that was planned. So it actually forced me to come back in early, and it did work. So I would think that that was actually maybe a good idea.
Congratulations. Do you think with your success, the under-19s were in the World Cup, and obviously the men playing later today, is there a sense of, for West Indies cricket more broadly, are things starting to go right in the right direction? Have you noticed things sort of changing for the for the better more generally?
Well, we hope that, you know, if we do win the World Cup and the men actually follows, I think we do hope that, you know, for West Indies cricket, they will go back on the rise.
Steffi, did you think of a hat-trick when you took 2 wickets in two consecutive balls thereafter?
If I think about an hat-trick, the hat-trick?
Did you think of a hat-trick when you took 2 wickets in 2 consecutive balls?
I wasn't thinking about a hat-trick. I was more thinking, you know, trying not to let them score, trying to get more, you know, as much dot balls as possible. And I figure more or less if I try to do that, wickets will come. So I wasn't thinking about the wicket, but, you know, was more focusing on, you know, dot balls.
What does this, you know, if you win the World Cup, how does it help women's cricket in the West Indies? Will it be a big boost? And how popular is women's cricket in the West Indies? Like,
Well, I don't think it's that popular. Like, you know, maybe when you look at Australia is, you know, it's wide and they have that foundation which we trying to build in the West Indies. So we hope that, you know, after being in the final and, you know, hope that we win, it would, you know, change everything in the West Indies. People will, you know more about females playing the game, which we do want. More girls coming out to, you know, to play the game, and, you know, that we hope that would actually, you know, change.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Thanks so much.